Welcome to Steffa's Corner and another tale by Auntie Steffa. And this time we are working on T for tea. Tutu and the Secret Tunnel. Come, my little turtles, said Tutu. I want to tell you a story of when I was tiny before I grew to be the tortoise I am today. It started long ago at this very beach. One day when I tilted my head toward the edge of the tunnel, I saw Tiffany trudge across the sand and ask, Tiffany, are you going to take a treat to the other side of the tunnel near the secret tide pool? Because I'm taking some tomatoes. Yes, I'm taking some tacos, said Tiffany. Tiffany then looked up and saw Tyler trudge closer. Are you, Tyler, going to take a treat to the other side of the tunnel near the secret tide pools? I'm taking some tacos. Yes, I'm taking some tofu, said Tyler. I then added, I'm transporting tomatoes. Taking some tacos, Tiffany interjected. So Tiffany, Tyler, and I, a trio of turtles, trudged into the tunnel and met up with Toby, a tang fish. Tyler asked, Are you, Toby, going to take a treat to the other side of the tunnel? Near the secret tide pools? I'm taking some tofu. Yes, I'm taking some tea as our treat, Toby commented. I then added, I'm transporting tomatoes. Taking some tacos, Tiffany interjected. Tyler put in, I'm taking some tofu. Then Toby took Tiffany, Tyler, and I to the tide pools. As we traced the edge of the tunnel, and Toby followed the tide to meet us with Toby the tree frog. And now we can finish the story at part 2. Toby called out, Are you, Tommy, going to take a treat to the secret tide pool? I'm taking some tea. Yes, I'm taking tater tots near the secret tide pool. I added, I'm transporting tomatoes. Taking some tacos, Tiffany interjected. Tyler put in, I'm taking some tofu. The 5 of us played in the water and leapfrogged with Tommy, a tree frog, while Toby, a tangfish, watched from the tide pool. On shore, there was a tiny table where I took my tomatoes, Tiffany's tacos, and Tyler's tofu. In tiny cups, Toby poured out some tea while Tommy's tater tots were passed out. Later that day, we saw 2 tiny eyes looking at us through the trees. We all jumped back into the tide pools and tilted our heads to take a look into the trees. Then Tommy the tree frog walked out calmly, and before we knew it, we saw a tiger playfully pounced towards our friend Tommy. Tommy said, Wait, let's tarry a little. I want to introduce you to my friends. The tortoises can come out. It's fine. So Tiffany, Tyler, and I slowly came out of the tide pools. This is my friend Tess, Toby introduced triumphantly, then added, Would you like to join us near the tide pools? I took some tea to the table. I then added, Those are my tomatoes I transported. I have some tacos, Tiffany interjected. Tyler put in, I have some tofu. And Toby mentioned, those are my tater tots. Yes, I happen to have some tiramisu to take to the table, Tess, the tiger, mentioned. Do you still team up with the same friends? Asked one of the tiny turtles. Yes, here comes Tiffany and Tyler now, said Tutu as the trio of tiny turtles looked into the tunnel. Then Tutu, Tiffany, Tyler, and the tiny trio of turtles trudged into the sand to visit the secret tide pools.